comme le nôtre. Il n'en existe pas deux. Ce n'est pas celui des autres. C'est quelque chose de mieux. Sans me parler.
I'm Charles Waldman, and I'm going to talk about the paintings that I did in Paris this September, the September of 2010, and going to have an exhibition of these in 2011 September, Knowlton's Gallery in Lodi, California. My wife Janet and I spent a month in Paris this past September, and I was able to paint most of the area of the Saint-Germain regions where our apartment was. I did 52 paintings, and I think the main categories turned out to be grand public places like the Tuileries and the Jardin Luxembourg and along the Seine and the Place Concorde, Notre Dame, of course, the Ile de Cité. But my favorite places are in the neighborhoods. In this little Rue des Boussy. There's an old market street just around the corner across Saint-Germain from us. And it was a place that was filled with street market in the past, but now it's down to a flower market. There's a seafood market, which is mostly a restaurant now, and there's still a charcuterie around the corner and a vegetable and a fruit market on one of the corners. But it's a busy little place. This is from an 8x10 I did in the morning while I was painting, and the delivery trucks are of course coming in. So as you can see, it's a pedestrian street one way. So half the time I was painting, my view was blocked by seafood trucks and fruit trucks and flower trucks, and so I had to kind of do the little study in between trucks, but still had a nice light and dark pattern, which I like, and the busyness and the inviting large sidewalks, narrow street, and it's a place that's busy. Morning coffee to late at night, just packed with people. The restaurants spill out in the streets. It's wall to wall, people out strolling. It's just a street that's been full of life.
Un amour comme le nôtre. Il n'en existe pas deux.
From the Pont des Arts on the Seine, looking towards Pont Neuf on a pretty gray day, almost the last day of our 1 month stay in Paris. So I've sketched in the drawing. We'll start with the darkest darks down here on the back of these boats, just to establish the very darkest value in the painting. Then from there, just work our way up, making progressively changes in values.
De temps en temps, un mot d'amour c'est incolore, mais un baiser c'est éloquent. Ne me fais pas de longs poèmes, ne parle pas de tes émois.
It's been a wonderful time in Paris. Most of the time we've been lucky with good sunlight, but these last few days that's not been the case. The sky, though, even on a day like this, is still relatively bright, so you can lay it in with a lot of white, a little bit of neutral. Use that to define some of the roof line here.
4 jours, c'est bien long, sois prudent chérie, et surtout rappelle-toi, si tu m'écris, ne me dis pas que tu m'adores, mais pense à moi de temps en temps, car bien de fois le cœur ignore ce que la main écrit sous l'eau. Ne jure pas d'être fidèle, je veux le croire malgré toi.
Bridge here. There's little turrets come out at each arch, which comes forward a little bit. And we define that a little further with some darks. And not a lot of way of strong cast shadows on a day like this. It's a lot of diffuse light. It gives a little more definition to things here. Now we can look at the reflections of those. It's really faint, but there. Bring it down.
De temps en temps, rappelle-toi.
Put the final little dots on this painting just to used to say these are the fleas on it. We got the dog painted, now we're putting a few fleas on it just to finish up some any other little definitions I think might be needed.
Le printemps faisait la cour, mais quand les histoires sont trop jolies, ça ne peut pas durer toujours. C'était une histoire d'amour.
My attempt is to capture my reaction to the vibrancy and the life in Paris. So most of the paintings are done with that in mind, and with often thick paint. Of course, I'm paying attention to drawing as accurate as I can, and the values as accurate as I can to get started. But then my goal of the painting is to get these little slices of the busyness and the full of lifeness of vibrancy of Paris, which I think the only way you can do that with paint, and particularly oil paint, is thick paint. I think that's the beauty of oil paint, is the thickness and the juiciness of paint. Is the life represents liveliness. Soft, thin paint represents quietness. So my goal is not to paint soft, thin paintings of Paris, but thick, vibrant paintings of Paris.
Il y a de quoi rire, j'ai l'impression de vouloir mourir. C'était une histoire d'amour. C'était comme un beau jour de fête, plein de soleil et de guinguettes, où le printemps faisait la cour. Mais quand les histoires sont trop jolies,